Hey guys, Thogden here and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today we're bringing back the Premier League content with a month till kickoff really. Let's go through every team and pick one player who might stand out next season. A player you just feel is going to turn it on. You ready?
Absolutely, the Premier League is back and I cannot wait, and I'm thinking about fantasy football as I'm doing my research there.
There's lots of players in here where I was thinking, ooh, maybe that's a differential. Yeah, and you might learn something today as well. So comment down below the player that you think will stand out next season, and let's start off with Arsenal, shall we?
Yes, and it's so simple. It's Bukayo Saka, because Theo, his career stats, and don't forget he's 19 years old, his career stats, 71 goal contributions from 140 games. Sometimes he's a defender, sometimes he's a sub. He is incredible, and he's only going to get better.
Dad, all I can think about, I'm wearing the English shirt, is that penalty, and it really does hurt me. It really does. So I've had to go with Albert Sambi Lokonga, the new signing, central midfielder from the Belgian league. He played for Anderlecht. And he's one of these players that if you play Football Manager, you'll know about him because he's talent and people expect him to go to the top. He's a box-to-box midfielder, covers loads of ground, and Arsenal needed a central midfielder, so I'm hoping under Arteta he'll get game time and he'll be a top baller.
All I say is justice for Saka. You had to choose him. I hope he gets more game time this year, Theo. He must.
I really hope Saka becomes a top player because I think he will. He was amazing in the Euros.
Aston Villa now, and it's got to be Emiliano Buendia, hasn't it, Theo? 35 million quid he cost from Norwich. And I tell you what, his stats in the Championship were absolutely incredible. And I know when he was in the Premier League the stats weren't quite as good, but he's a very hard-working lad. Lots of blocking and tackling and really hard work.
It's funny because we completely agree. I'm really excited to see what Emi Buendia can do in a Villa shirt, because I just remember back to his Norwich days when he destroyed Bolton in the Championship. And since that moment, I've been keeping a pretty good eye on him, and in a more attacking kind of prosperous momentum side like Villa, who really go for games. You know, we saw last season how attacking they were against the top teams, and it's great to see. And Buendia will be able to express himself, and that will be exciting.
Brentford now, they're in the Premiership for the first time, and I can't wait. And I'm going to be really obvious, Ivan Toney, and I'll tell you why, Theo. 31 goals, 10 assists from 45 games in the Championship. He is an absolute bagsman.
He's got a pineapple on his head. He's got a pineapple on his head. He's got a pineapple on his head.
What are you on about?
Do you know I do actually. Peterborough away?
Yeah.
Ivan Toney.
I know.
Okay, he scored against us. I know that.
Everyone scores against us.
I'm excited to watch him in the Premier League. I think he's a top baller. But this is a video about guys that we don't know as much, right? And Brentford have signed a new player called Christopher Ajer. Now, he's come from Celtic, so a lot of people won't really watch the Scottish League as much as we do. And I can say from watching him in a Celtic shirt, he's a really good player. Very good on the ball. He's tall. He can play centre back and right back. He can drive with the ball. He can seriously. He's a good dribbler. He's got pace, and I'm excited to see what he can do in the Brentford shirt. So watch out for him.
Absolutely. I think Brentford could have a decent season. I thought about the wingers, Theo. You've got Canos and Mbuemo feeding Toney, and if it's tight at the back, Brentford could be, I don't know, 12 to 14?
Bit lower for me, but predictions will come later.
Brighton and Hove Albion. I've not seen your notes, but I hope you've chosen Tariq Lamptey. He was a product of the Chelsea youth system, and he is lightning fast. One of the fastest players in Europe. He scores goals, he gets assists, and defensively decent, Theo.
I can confirm we agree again, and I hope the Brighton admin is happy with that, because they were tweeting about our kit ranking video, about how nicely we spoke about it. So big up Brighton, by the way. Tariq Lamptey was incredible at the start of last season. We were actually here in Montenegro, where we are right now. We're doing live streams, absolutely just raving about Lamptey, the way he could dribble past players, fastest player in top 5 leagues at the time. And I hope he's the same player when he comes back from this injury, because I know how special he can be. So keep an eye out for him.
Burnley now, and I've gone for a lad from Rochdale, England Youth International, Dwight McNeil. Now the thing is, I know Everton are all over this lad, so will he stay at Burnley? I hope he does, because he's a real talent, isn't he, Theo?
He was going to be my second option. The player I've gone for is what a few Burnley fans have been telling me to, and I kind of took a bit of note from it. Nathan Collins, the Stoke right back. He's 20 years old. They paid £14 million for him, which isn't too bad for a Championship player. He's a tall right back, proper Burnley. You know what you're getting with him, and he's got many years to come, so watch out for him.
Chelsea now, and last year in this room I said that this player would light up the Premier League for the next decade. Kai Havertz. Now his first season was okay, a goal contribution every third game, but I think he's gonna get better. I think this season he could play 30 games, maybe 15 contributions. He had a good end to last season, didn't he, Theo? He looked quite sharp in the Euros.
I don't think it will surprise me if he gets up to 20 contributions in 30 games, maybe 10 goals, 10 assists.
Wow.
What I saw from the Euros is he's developing as a more mature player who knows how to really put in a through ball to the likes of Werner and Muller, as we saw against England in all the games, really. I agree with you again that the player to watch out for in a Chelsea shirt is Kai Havertz. A lot of Chelsea fans told me to say Armando Broja, but the reason I didn't is because the Albanian 19-year-old, I'm not too sure how much game time he'll get next season. You know, he is breaking through right now in the pre-season, but there's always the pre-season Messi and Ronaldo, you know what I mean? But then when it comes to it, Tuchel will probably play the names that he knows.
Crystal Palace now, and it has to be Michael Olise. He's 19 years old, attacking midfielder, and he's just had a wonderful year at Reading, and Reading fans have been writing to me saying, look out for this lad. Now, Eberechi Eze sadly still injured, isn't he?
Yeah, so is Olise for a couple of weeks. Eze and Olise both out. It's a big loss for Palace, but they did just sign Conor Gallagher. By the way, Palace, Patrick Vieira, they've had a great transfer window. They've just brought in Conor Gallagher, Nathan Ferguson's coming back, Joachim Anderson, great signing. They've got a team there, it's just whether they can all gel together. But the one man I think to watch out for is another centre-back called Mark Guehi. I don't know if that's the right place to pronounce it, but Swansea last season, 40 games, played centre-back, stand out, he's tall, he's powerful, and he actually reads the game well. So honestly, if this comes off and he gets regular game time in the Premier League under Patrick Vieira, I think Mark Guehi can go right to the very top. I think Chelsea fans might regret selling him.
Everton now, Jean-Philippe Gbamin, and you might be asking, who is he? Well, he came from Mainz, didn't he, 2 years ago, and then the poor lad got injured. He's a defensive midfielder, and you know, he came with a lot of fanfare, didn't he, Theo?
Well, that's the key. He came 2 years ago, but he's only played one Premier League game. It's really poor, and the truth is, it's because of injuries. He's been very unfortunate, but he is a top player, and he's had a great pre-season, so I'd honestly say keep an eye out for him.
Absolutely, and in the past, that defensive midfield area has been a problem, hasn't it? So I hope he gets fit. I hope he has a great season.
Good luck to the Toffees.
Leeds United now, and I can't look beyond the brilliant Rafinha. He came straight into the league, Theo, got a contribution every other game, and he just looks fantastic. Straight into my fantasy Premier League team.
I would agree, but there's other Leeds options. I would rather have Rodrigo this year in my fantasy team because he's adopting a very attacking role in that Leeds side, and I think Bielsa knows he's going to bring the most out of him. Not only is he ex-Bolton Wanderers, and I don't actually really remember him for those days, but I do love saying it because I think he's going to go right to the very top. I think he's going to be a Spain regular. He ended the year well last time, and he's having a really good pre-season. So Rodrigo Moreno, watch out for him.
Leicester City, and it has to be Patson Daka, 22 years old. He's a Zambian international, and Theo, he cost 27 million from RB Salzburg, and just listen to these stats in the Bundesliga. Played 82, 54 goals, 16 assists. That's a goal every 89 minutes in the Bundesliga.
That's insane. It's actually the Austrian Bundesliga because it's Red Star Salzburg.
Yes.
So that's a little fact for you. I've gone for a different name, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Now, he's a lad who's been through the academy, went on loan to Luton Town last year. He's a central midfielder. He can play as a bit of a pivot. He's left-footed, and he is a wonder kid. I'm telling you, this guy has got a lot of competition, that central midfield role in Leicester. It's going to be difficult for him to get in, but I really hope he gets the game time because he can go to the top. He's a pivot. He's very good on the ball, good dribbler, and a sweet left foot. He's got a shot on him. He takes set pieces. He's got it all.
Brilliant. And with Daka, it's all about game time. Will he get into the squad ahead of Iheanacho and Vardy? Now, Vardy is 35 in January, but good luck to Leicester. Liverpool now, and I've gone with Naby Keita, Theo. He came from Leipzig, I think 3 years ago, 54 million quid. Took time to settle, but I tell you what, this season, Wijnaldum's gone, isn't he? And it's crucial that Keita steps up in central midfield.
Well, I hope so, because his time is now. We've had a lot of years where we've given this guy a bit of hope, a bit of potential, and it's just not reaped through yet. So for Sadio Mane, he's my player, and it's kind of a similar boat. Last season, it wasn't a Sadio Mane that we know and love, and he's had a summer to kind of regroup, mentally get in the right head frame. You know, there's a lot of pressures for a Premier League season. You play a lot of football. There was a lot of hiccups last year for Liverpool, but they did bounce back in the end. And I hope the same happens for Sadio Mane next year. We all know there's a serious player in him. We saw it at Southampton, we saw it at Salzburg, we've seen it in Liverpool. And I know he can bring that out again next year. So I'm hoping we see that because he is a baller.
Absolutely agree, Theo. I mean, he didn't have a bad season last season, did he? But he was in the shadow of Mo Salah.
But he wasn't the best player in the world, so, you know.
Was that supposed to be a Scouse accent?
I'm just going to leave.
Manchester City, Theo, who have you gone for?
Well, the player to watch out for Manchester City next season is Jack Grealish. I think he's going to be absolutely outstanding.
Wait. What? Has he actually signed yet?
Oh, have I said something that...
Yeah.
Have I... Oh no. I think I might have crossed the line here, boys. In all seriousness though, sort of, I've gone for Ferran Torres. Do you agree?
Yes, I do totally agree. He's 21 years old. We forget how young he is.
Yeah.
Towards the end of last season, he was banging them in. He had a good Euros. And you know what, Theo? If Harry Kane doesn't go there, he could be the number 9.
Oh yeah, I mean, his Euros was top shelf. He was banging them in. He's got that little bit of flair, he's got a volley on him,
yeah.
He's quick, he's got it all, and Pep will want to bring the best out of him with that Spanish link as well. So Ferran Torres, I hope he gets more game time next season.
Manchester United now, and I'm going to be really boring and say Jadon Sancho for 2 reasons. First of all, the stats are brilliant. He's got 149 lifetime contributions from about 180 games. That is brilliant for a 21-year-old.
That's very good.
Secondly, we've watched him, haven't we, Theo, in the Bundesliga, and this kid is just amazing. What a shame he didn't see more of the Euros.
I would have gone with him, but like you said, it's a bit obvious.
Yeah.
I wanted to go for a kind of a newer name, a fresher name that a lot of United fans will kind of appreciate, and that is Amad Diallo, the Ivorian that signed from Atalanta's academy last year. And every time we've seen him play, we've seen some moments of madness, really. Some really, you could tell the flair's in him. Currently, he's playing for the Ivorian Olympics team, and he's balling out for them, starting regularly, getting some game time in. And that's good. He'll get his fitness up, ready for the Manchester United season. He's not part of the pre-season, which will kind of affect his opportunity to get the first team, but when he gets a shot, he'll impress Ole for sure. I've got a lot of hope in the kid.
That sounds good, but will he get game time, Theo? Because we know Jadon Sancho is going to play a lot of games.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of competitions, a lot of games in, you know, different cups and different competitions, and whenever he plays, he impresses. Everybody knows that, so watch out.
Newcastle now, and I'm afraid it has to be Alan St. Maximan, because I just can't think of anyone else, Theo. I mean, Newcastle would be relegated without this lad, full stop.
Well, when he was injured, they did feel it, right? And now that he's back, they're going to make the most of him. But the player I've gone for Newcastle was Jacob Murphy.
Yeah.
Now, he's actually changed his position because Newcastle are kind of changing their tactic for the season. He's going into wing back, and apparently since he's been there, he's been class. So I'm just taking it from Newcastle fans. Jacob Murphy, he's got the energy, he's got the pace to get back and forth up the field, attack and defend, and he loves the club, so I'm going to give it to him. Watch out.
Tell you what, I look at the Newcastle squad and it worries me. I hope you can get your ownership problems sorted out real soon.
Brucey always finds a way, Dad. They won't go down.
Norwich now, and it's got to be the young Scot on loan from Chelsea, Billy Gilmour. Now, did you know, Theo, he's only had 450 minutes in the Premier League.
Really?
So he's hardly played at all. But his stats at Premier League 2 and at the Premier League under-18s are fantastic. He likes to get up the field and get a contribution.
And he plays well in big games. He saw it in the England-Scotland game in the Euros. He absolutely smashed that too. He's a lad that's young and he's very overhyped, but he backs it up with stats and he backs up with top performances. So I'll put my hands in the air. I agree with you. Billy Gilmour for Norwich.
Southampton now, I've gone for a lad who came through the Arsenal and then the Southampton academies, Nathan Teller. And a lot of Southampton fans are naming this lad, aren't they, Theo?
They are, because in pre-season he's been rapid, and I mean that, like ridiculous amounts of pace. There's one video where he puts the ball through to Che Adams and he basically paces through the length of the team. It's ridiculous. If this guy can hit form and make a part of the Southampton system, he could be dangerous for the coming Premier League year. Watch out for him, Nathan Teller.
And a lot of people think that he's going to be at a big 6 club in the next 2 or 3 years.
Some big statements being made.
Tottenham Hotspur now, and this lad played 45 games for Norwich last season in the middle of the park, and he was magnificent. Oliver Skipp, Theo, you've got to agree.
Of course I agree. He was so good for Norwich last year. He's come back, he's had a great pre-season with Spurs, he's creative, he's a holding mid. If he sees a player running, he will ping it right to his feet. And he's young, so there's so much to come of him. I just hope Nuno gives him a regular spot. He could play next to Højbjerg and be that kind of that ball player. I really hope that's the case.
Yeah, he's played less than 300 minutes in the Premier League. That's the only worry. Will he get game time and will he shift up a gear?
But he's well developed in the Championship, so I hope that will pull through.
Watford now, and I've gone for a Brazilian. No, Theo, I don't mean that. I've gone for a Brazilian youth international called João Pedro, who's only 19, but he's had a season in the Championship, and his haul was pretty good, wasn't it, Theo?
Absolutely. I mean, to get double contributions when you're just turning 19, Brazilian, first time in a completely different league as to what you're used to, that's astonishing. If this guy continues to improve and deals with the level of playing in the top division in the world, he's going to be out there, 19 Brazilian, centre forward. Everyone's going to want him. So everybody knows about João Pedro because of the kind of potential that he's got. Let's see if he can back it up now in the Premier League.
West Ham United, and I've gone for the Algerian international Saïd Benrahma. And stick with me here, because he's smashed up the Championship for Brentford. Now I think he's got like 1 goal, hasn't he, in the Premier League. He's not getting regular game time, but if he does, he's an exciting player. He's a player that we love to watch.
Well, I remember when Brentford played Stoke a few years back, and we went to kind of when Saïd Benrahma was just first making it into the squad, and he was showing us his flair, his tricks, his skill, his pace, his dribbling ability, and you and me just kind of looked at him and thought, this guy's going to be a player. He went on to have 2 incredible years in the Championship, dominating with high level stats and breaking through with a big signing to West Ham, where he got 7 contributions in 14 games from the first kind of half season that he had. People are saying he's not been worth it and all of this. Load of rubbish. The fact that he got 1 contribution every 2 games just shows what he could do next year could be astonishing. Watch out for Saïd Benrahma. The guy has all the ability. He just needs to show it on the pitch, and there's so much more to come from him.
Absolutely agreed here. And finally, Wolverhampton Wanderers' Yerson Mosquera, who is a Colombian centre-back. He's only 20 years old. And he's smashing it, isn't he, in pre-season here?
Wolves fans said mention Trinchal, so we'll give him a, I don't know, I probably bottled that pronunciation, but I do agree with you with Yerson Mosquera, however you want to say it. He's a Colombian centre-back that they signed for 5 million from the Colombian first tier, which is like a bit of a risky move because he's jumping to the Premier League. But he's going in a back 3 system, and he's doing very well in pre-season. He's caught the eye of a lot of Wolves fans, so we'll give him some bit of a shout out to everyone. So watch out for him come on the next season, and then see what he can do.
Absolutely.
Lads, all 20 teams complete. 1 player for every Premier League club. Thank you very much for watching this. Comment down below which players we should watch out for the next Premier League season. We've probably missed out a few names, but there you go.
Brilliant. I can't wait for the Premier League to start. Get your fantasy Premier League squad done now.
Get it done now. Check it out.
And we're going to have a league, aren't we?
Of course we are. We'll sort that out in the next video, next Prem video. Please like and subscribe for more Premier League and English content. Get notifications on so you never miss a pre-season video. We'll see you in a bit. Bye.